Okay, we are back. We're now on the field with my friend Alan Jaeger. Before Alan throws, before there's a lesson, and what he advocates for all of his clients, all of his athletes, is we do two things to condition the arm to warm it up. One is arm circles, and also then is J bands. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go through that routine. Alan is going to explain what we do. We're going to go through that routine, that two-part warm-up routine. Okay?
Great. So what we'll do is we'll do a few shoulder rolls to get loose. Anything to get this capsule kind of stretched out and get some tension out of the neck. So, and then you don't have to do it yet, but I'll just first explain. We'll do 2 sets, palms down, going forward, and we do palms up, going backward. There's 9 checkpoints. There's small, and there's quarter of a circle. There's half a circle, 3/4, full. And we go back to 3/4, back to half, back to quarter, and back to small. Now, as rudimentary as that looked, I was actually focusing on about 8 things, like with yoga. There's a lot going on. So what I was doing is, number one, is my arms were loose and relaxed. And the way I do that is by bending my elbows a little bit, but not a lot. If I bend them a lot, the triceps are going to kick in. So I bend them, I call it a 1 or 2 degree bend. That's it. Okay. Secondly, what you may not have noticed is I was really working on pivoting my shoulders, not my elbows. 3, as important as anything, is I was making symmetrical circles the entire time. So we always tell players before they do this, just go through your middle fingers like the center of a clock, and every circle you make, I don't care how small or big it is, you're going to hit every hour of that imaginary clock.
Okay, great.
And then 4 is to try to stay in tune with your breathing, not to hold in tension, not to grimace, but to try to keep loose and relaxed breathing patterns. Lastly, if at any point you feel like it's too much, rather than muscle through it, which then takes the focus off the small muscles, which is our intention here, your big muscles take over. So it's better to just put your arms down until you get into better shape to do these a full set through. And today we'll do 6 reps at each point, which is 54. Eventually we would build somebody up to 16 reps, which is not easy to get through a whole set. Then when they master that, we add a ball, maybe go down to 12 reps. When they master that to 16, we add another ball. Eventually we get guys on 3 baseballs, or girls, on 3 baseballs, or maybe for the girls it'll be a softball. And that's almost a pound, and they'll do a full workout, and instead of being completely beat up and tired from it, where they might be the first few days, it's a great precursor to the bands, which is the last point I want to make. These arm circles within themselves are going to do tremendous things for the rotator cuff as far as muscle balance, muscle strength, muscle endurance. But man, they are an ideal way to set yourself up to do the band work, to then optimize the band work. And then that all goes hand in hand with the long toss and how we first stretch before we get aggressive. And so this is all a nice little 3-step approach. And so
one thing I'm noticing, is, and I want to key on this with our audience, is 3 is one thing is loose. In fact, you said take the grimace out of it.
Yeah.
Is you see how this throwing is a loose, elongated thing, and the other thing is, which is again contrary to a lot of the in athletics, especially boys, they get the testosterone ramped up and they think, oh, I'm going to go out and see what Alan says is that incrementally we build, and that's what your program is based on. I'm sorry for interrupting, but I wanted to key on those two things because they're so contradictory to a lot of the concepts of teaching don't apply to this. And you're successful because you thought out of the box and found things that work that are a little different and innovative.
Well, good. Well, interject anytime, because we are always still teaching and learning both. So that's what.
I just want the audience to pick up on some of the things that are really important that I know people don't. The kids and the dads and the coaches don't think about. They react differently to this, and the rules literally don't apply. This is not football. This is not hit it hard, be strong, fast. This is a totally different. This is a mind game, and again, it's something that not only is successful, but for injury prevention, we want these different concepts. We want loose. We want incremental. Okay. Well, let's demonstrate. Should we demonstrate?
Yeah, for sure. So what I'm going to have you do is just kind of face me. Again, before you do anything, maybe a couple shoulder rolls, just to break up a little bit of tension that might be in there. And then leave the arms down, and when you bring the hands up, you want to think about like you're floating through water, and you don't want to crimp the shoulders. You want to keep loose and relaxed. And all we're going to do is make small circles forward, and again, focus on pivoting the shoulder and not the elbow. Right? And as we get a little bit bigger, these are quarter, I want you to be as high as you are low, and as far backward as you are forward. So if you look at the side view, you'll notice where that center point on the clock was we talked about. Now we're at half. So try to get a little higher. You want to be as high as you are low. Make sure you are as far forward as you are backward. And then we want to go 3/4. If you notice, there's always that little baby bend in the elbow, so there's flexion in the shoulder. And then we would go all the way.
You're a lot looser than me.
What was that?
I said you're looser than me.
And then 3/4. And we come all the way back. We go to half. You know, I'm really thinking about working backward here. 1/4. And then small. Now we'll do that first time
I can
through.
feel a burn on that already. Yeah.
We've done this with guys like some professional pitchers who have very strong arms and you would think are in incredible shape because they throw hard, and they can't get through.
Yeah.
We'll test them a little bit more than that, maybe 12 reps instead of 6. It's amazing to me how they can't get through it. And what's cool is anytime we do a clinic, I love this, when they experientially do this exercise, what's great is their brain, their intuition is sharp, and they right away go, wow, I am burning so badly, and they know that's not a good sign. Now, the burning part can be good because you're working, but when we explain to them what's burning is the small muscles, they start realizing that throwing 95 may have nothing to do with the condition of the small muscles, which is what we're really attacking with the arm circles and band work. So anyway, that's kind of the beauty of doing something as simple as arm circles. Even from mature, older professional players, these little exercises kind of wake them up, and they're like, wow, that affected me. And now they're aware of how important arm care is just from a simple exercise.
Well, you did say, you talked again, a key word, small.
Yeah.
You know, guys that throw, and I'm not saying that they aren't big, strong guys, but you're not looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger necessarily. You know, and it is all, since it is a kinetic chain, and since it is all the muscles working together, that when, like you're telling me, when there's a professional, and even he feels that there's something that needs to be worked on there. There's those small muscles, like we did before, loose and incremental build up, that those small muscles are key. Now, what would you do? What would you start off with that? Let's say that we had a 12-year-old. What would be the barometer? 6?
6. As long as the barometer is this, 6, most people get through the first time. But when they can get through the first set and it looks like it was no big deal, then you add.
Gotcha.
And eventually you add to 16. 16 is a beast. If you can get through 16, and what was really cool, it's a side note, but I'm just thinking about it because Oregon State was just in town, but the pitching coach and I are very close, and they started doing this program in January because that's when he really started getting into it, as opposed to September. So their season was actually almost starting. So what he wanted to do is he wanted to make sure that they just didn't kill the arm circles too soon, too much too soon. So he had the guys first get up to 16 with no balls. Over the course of like about 3 or 4 weeks, he added a ball. Over the course of 3 or 4 weeks, he added a ball. It took about 2 months. But I just saw him at USC this weekend. We're at the end of the season, at the end of May now. And they graduated to 3 balls about 2 weeks ago. And these guys were pumped because they were killed the first time they did this, like 3 months ago. It was just ruined them. It was hard for them. Now they're doing 3 baseballs, putting the balls down like no big deal, doing their band work. And what a shock. Oregon State, not only the #1 in the country, but their guys are getting stronger. They have a bunch of really good pitchers on that team, and they're going into the regionals this week, and their guys are getting stronger, and it's palpable to these kids. So these little simple arm circles, I remember even Zito when I first started with him. It didn't seem like much, but once he got into them, he's like, wow. So
And you see another key word is stronger. Seasons at
Strong.
the end instead of guys, fatigued. And when you're fatigued, what happens mechanically? Then you start getting sloppy. Your arm slot drops. You start getting out of the correct sequence. And these are guys that are going into it. Most of these guys have had 60 games already.
Yep.
They've been playing since January. They've been playing games since February, and they're feeling stronger. That's great.
Oh,
that's great.
Yeah, that's a staple of this program. That we think guys gain velocity from this too, but at the end of the day, our priority, of course, is health, endurance, recovery period, and those are the three big keys to this program. And velocity tends to come, and in some cases, it can come a lot.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So we'll do the second set just so that visually everybody can see it.
1 second.
Santa Monica Airport is right here. It's a little airport, but I didn't realize we were going to be in the line of fire. So I'll just kind of repeat that last line. Okay, so what we'll do is, since we went through the first set, is we'll go through the second set so everybody can see that. So palms down forward to begin with, we're going to go palms up and backward to counter that movement. And again, automatic for me, a couple shoulder rolls always feel good. Remind me to keep my shoulders down. We'll go palms up, and we'll go backward. I'm going to just count to 6. Again, the key things are pivot from the shoulders. Symmetrical circles is the other big thing. Okay, how about half now? So small quarter half. Then we'll go to 3/4. Then we'll go all the way. Go back to 3/4. Talking about breathing a little bit later with mental game stuff, so good idea to keep that breath nice and fluid. Half, quarter, small. It's amazing, even though I've been doing this for 100 years, I am, even in a simple situation like this, I'm still looking left and right because it's easy to get sloppy.
Right.
It's easy to forget what you're doing.
Wow.
Oh,
And
trust
I
me.
do this all the time, but I have it for a couple of days and feel it.
Plus, even though to me that's still like the magic, those bands, if we went out and threw now, you could just tell compared to just 2 minutes ago or 3 minutes ago doing these. It's night and day how your shoulder feels. But now we're ready for the band.
Okay.
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 So.